to see their teams perform well against the top sides and then underperform in matches that they would expect to get something from.
They've got to stay organised, they've got to have good games in the middle of the park. Rice, Noble, Snodgrass work as a trio against Liverpool's movement.
Milner, touch from Salah, very nearly the one that was required. Need to put Lallana through. Milner, now Lallana, Fabinho to Keita. Antonio in the way.
Important job for Antonio tonight. He'll be well aware of his defensive responsibilities, with Robertson looking to get forward at every opportunity. Did well enough there.
Actually, he scored in West Ham's last two victories against Liverpool, Mikel Antonio, one in the league, one in the FA Cup, both of them at Upton Park. It was an FA Cup tie back in February 2016 that West Ham won in stoppage time of extra time with a goal from Angelo Ogbonna. Robertson, here's Diop. Fabinho, looking early for Mohamed Salah. Noble. There's Ogbonna, who's having a decent run in the team at the moment with Balbuena's injury.
Yeah, that was a blow. I mean, they've had plenty of injury problems. Loads of good players missing. Yarmolenko, Wilshere, Sami Nasri. Hard for any team to cope with that.
Which also missing tonight after the injury he picked up against Wolves. In steps Ogbonna to win it back for Snodgrass. Anderson sold Ogbonna short, and he still managed to find Mark Noble. Antonio looking for Snodgrass, just a little behind him. Anderson beyond the reach of Robert Snodgrass, who's a player who's very much come in from the cold here at West Ham under Pellegrini. Diop. Now Fredericks. Away by Joel Matip. Noble got to it. Jurgen Klopp always gets very involved in the game, taking every ball as his team look to put greater distance between themselves and Manchester City. They have that extra game at Goodison in midweek that's been brought forward from Carabao Cup final weekend. Maybe it will be to Liverpool's advantage that they no longer have any interest in either of the domestic cup competitions.
Bournemouth the weekend, haven't they? Then a 10-day break, so that'll be handy.
All the way through there for Sadio Mane. Cleared up towards Javier Hernandez. Noble. Now Anderson. Into Aaron Cresswell. Almost deflected back to Snodgrass. Liverpool fortunate that Lallana in the way.
Yeah, had to do quite a bit of defending this first 15, Liverpool. But a nice sharpness to West Ham's attacking play.
Noble to Snodgrass. It has been a very lively beginning from a West Ham team who need to pick themselves up after 3 defeats on the trot. Hernandez with a strike! And the first save of the night that Alisson has had to make.
Well, they backed off Liverpool there. The run of Ryan Fredericks gave him a bit more space as well. They are looking a little nervous, Liverpool, on the back foot. Good play by Noble to win it back, to get them going. Fredericks on the overlap. This gives Liverpool something else to think about.
Here's Firmino. Fabinho. Mane. Here's Van Dijk. Through by Matip and away by Ogbonna. Coolly done by Rice. And then given away by Snodgrass. Robertson. Firmino. Keita. Fabinho going through the middle looking for Salah. Antonio was just pulled back there by Sadio Mane.
Not surprisingly, West Ham defending fairly deep, trying to deny space behind. Doing it well at the moment.
They have had greater ownership of the ball in the opening exchanges, but the greater threat has been carried by the home team so far. Matip's header. That's Cresswell. Back to him from Anderson. Milner. Anderson. Challenged by Fabinho. There again, given to Mikel Antonio. Noble. There's Matip. Fabinho. On by Firmino. Keita trying to slide it through, and it's come back to Roberto Firmino.
Didn't catch it at all. Started the move by dropping really deep. Firmino feeds in Mane. Unlucky rebound, and expecting a lot more than that. Really scuffed his shot.
Scuffy attempt from Roberto Firmino. They do rely heavily on that front three for their goals, but what a front three to call upon for Liverpool. Firmino and Mane have scored all 12 of their goals in their last 5 Premier League matches.
Good chance for Anderson to take on Milner there, who was backtracking furiously. Did well to get his foot in.
Anderson's left the corner for Snodgrass to take. O'Connor, who scored a key goal against Liverpool before, comes forward with his centre-half partner Issa Diop, who's yet to score in the Premier League.
Yeah, they need those two to supply a bit of aerial power.
By Salah. It's Fredericks. It's a bit of a mismatch between Noble and Van Dijk, but he's still won his header on, the West Ham captain.
Yeah, and he's played well so far. Been a really good start by Noble. So important to his team any day of the week, but as captain in the middle ground against so much ability, playing a big part here.
400 league games for them now, Mark Noble, who's seen the ups and downs of life at this football club. Here's Lallana. Comes off in a tight spot, but got out of it really well. It's Mane on the turn! Liverpool showing their quality in front of goal when it matters. It had been an awkward first 20 minutes of the match for them, but they strike first.
Well, quite brilliant footwork by Adam Lallana out on that right-hand touchline. He was boxed in here, or at least he should have been. What about this, though? Lovely stuff from Lallana, and not only this, to find his teammate. So clever. But as we can see, I mean, he's right under the linesman's nose. He is offside. But the flag stays down. He's a yard or two off. But Mane, who scored that goal against Leicester, he's so reliable in these situations. Comes up trumps again.
The goal had a bit of everything. Some great skill, a bit of luck with Milner, who was not flagged offside as he was right in front of the linesman, Matt Wilks. But what counts is the clinical finish of Sadio Mane to give Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool the advantage. They've made the most of a bit of good fortune.
Yeah, take it, don't you? You take it. Ask questions later, play to the whistle. Sometimes for a linesman it can be a bit harder perhaps when it's so close to you, the decision. Even so, you would have expected to have seen the flag.
So Mane scores for the third game in a row. And he was struck twice against West Ham on the opening day of the season. He's punctured their early optimism here. And Liverpool have a habit, when they score first, of staying in front.
Yeah, that's a magnificent record.
They haven't lost after scoring first since April 2017 against Crystal Palace.
Well, the Premier League's best defence by some distance. They have been leaking a few more goals lately, but they can get back to where they've been. It's going to be really tough for the home side.
There's 14 goals in total is all they've let in the league this season. Only Manchester City and Crystal Palace have scored more than one against them in a league match this season. Matip, Milner, here's Keita, Van Dijk, Matip, cleared by Rice. Here's Snodgrass, found himself ambushed, and Mane has tried to feed Salah this time, who needs support in the middle. He's managed to buy time well though. Mane, Keita, it's Robertson coming in.
He was trying to cross it in the end, and I thought he maybe would go for goal with his left pen. But you feel Liverpool needed that goal just to settle them down. They looked a bit hesitant in the opening spells.
trying to make something of it. It's Declan Rice who has to get that one away. Snodgrass. Didn't touch than Anderson would have liked. Here's Andy Robertson. And Anderson gets away. He's got Hernandez in the middle. That was his only option.
Yeah. It's always going to be difficult to pick out the striker.
Away by Firmino. And then a free kick given away by Fabinho.
That's a sloppy passage of play, including the earlier attack when Anderson crossed it. Liverpool giving it away in a dangerous area. Difficult, these ones that are more central. Looks too far out to go for goal. It's not the easiest of angles, a bit straight. Anxious to stay at the box here, Liverpool.
Anderson has worked the opening. It's Antonio! What a response from West Ham United! Mikel Antonio just loves scoring against Liverpool.
Well, maybe because they were so high, that Liverpool back line, they've left the space. I mean, it is so sloppy. Looking at Naby Keita on that side, just doesn't go. Just doesn't go with the man. What a finish it is from Antonio.
It's led to a leveller for the London club in the London Stadium.
Well, Liverpool certainly didn't expect the unexpected, and it's Keita. He just switches off. Take nothing away from Antonio. It's a great finish into the far post, but he just makes a run on the outside of Keita. Keita doesn't do enough to stop him making that move, and the rest, well, just watch it. He couldn't have put it in a better position against one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He puts it right in the corner, and you've got to say, on the basis of the play, they've deserved this. And what a great game this is shaping up to be, but fantastic from West Ham. Quick thinking, great thinking, and Liverpool had no answer to it.
His 5th career goal against Liverpool. There's not too many players who can boast that. 1-1. And not yet half an hour gone.
In them situations, when Antonio makes them runs from Keita, you can see that Antonio's running across him. He's just got to be stronger. He's got to try and get in his path to make sure that he can't make that run, because it's far too easy for Antonio to make the run through.
Matip. Well, it's instant riposte from the culprit at the other end, Naby Keita, and it's a corner. There's no gain at this level of football without some pain, and he's feeling that pain at the moment. Of course, the other interesting dynamic this week is that Manchester City play again on Wednesday away to Everton, the game that's been brought forward. Firmino going for it. Robertson. Now Keita. Robertson hoists it back, and Fabianski. He made it look ridiculously easy. He had the ball, the opposition to worry about, and the edge of the penalty area. And he's an experienced goalkeeper now, and he'd be the first to tell you he's had to work really hard to get to where he is today, Lucas Fabianski. At the age of 33, not all been sweetness and light in his career. And the same in some ways for Mikel Antonio. worked his way up the pyramid from non-league football to where you find him today. And Issa Diop really committed himself then and got away with it. And Antonio. And again. Fredericks. Rice. Nice play from the youngster who's still weighing up whether to throw his international hat into the ring with England or the country he's already played for in friendly games, the Republic of Ireland. Mane marauding out onto that right-hand side. Lallana, Keita. Now Milner. Keita. Firmino, just too much on it as Lallana darted through. Liverpool, of course, led in their last game against Leicester and were pegged back for a 1-1. Cresswell had plenty of backers for the view that he was telling Simon Beck that it actually didn't go out off him. Van Dijk. Firmino challenged by Rice. Van Dijk again. No, he's got that wrong. It's just pressure. Still a long way to go in the season. Lots of points to play for, whatever the result here tonight.
Just look at the goal again here. Just look at the linesman. The linesman's vision. He's not actually looking. He's looking at Lallana, whether he's waiting for the ball to go out for a throw-in or a foul. Hasn't got his eyes on Milner, who is clearly offside. And like I say, Mane then does fantastically well, but shouldn't have got to that point because there should have been an offside call. You look at the linesman, and he's just looking at Lallana. You can't see Milner then, who is in an offside position. And the rest is done by Mane, but like I say, he shouldn't have got that far.
Well, next season they will have the aid of VAR in the Premier League. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it would work in a situation like that justice would have been done.
Yeah, I think from the linesman's perspective, he's probably looking and thinking, right, okay, there's going to be a foul on Lallana, there could be a throw-in coming there. I don't think he thought that Lallana was going to get himself out of that situation, so probably edging his bets just a little bit in that situation and believing that that's where the ball would end up.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a guess, and he was unlucky in being out of position. Liverpool took full advantage. Finally, the situation that has changed after that fortunate 1-0 lead. Clever set-piece routine from West Ham United. Greeted rapturously here and around the country by followers of Manchester City. And a free kick again.
West Ham players, they're a bit frustrated. They wanted the advantage to be played. Which will either foul out Noah, but then Felipe Anderson got the better of Fabinho. He wanted the advantage to be played on, but it wasn't. But what it does, West Ham another opportunity to either put that ball into the box or come up with something that they did with the last free kick that they got, which enabled them to get the equaliser.
Both Diop and Ogbonna are in there, the centre-backs. Comes out to Noble. Comes out to Fredericks, and that's a sensible option actually. He had to take it across Mo Salah and run the risk of being dispossessed if he'd done anything else. Ten minutes to go to half-time. It's been an eventful First 35 minutes here.
What they've done really well, West Ham, they've managed to keep their shape, and if Firmino, if Salah, if Mane's dropping off, what you've got is Rice in there, who's an outstanding talent. He really is getting better and better all the time, and he's making it more difficult then for Liverpool.
Robertson's in behind though. Fabianski comes out and says, "That's mine." Not every modern day goalkeeper is as keen as coming off their lines as Fabianski is. Colin Friend being encouraged by the crowd to get his card out here. He's not going to do that.
Well, they are counter-attacking really well. I think Pellegrini will be absolutely delighted to see Mane tracking all the way back into his own half to make the foul on Snodgrass. And that's what they're doing, the turnover. You know, West Ham are allowing Liverpool to go into certain areas, knowing that if certain players are going forward, then areas are going to be free when the turnover occurs, in particular on the sides and getting into them wide areas. And it's been a fantastic first half so far from West Ham against a very good Liverpool team.
See, they could come out this side again, try and get across him from a better angle, but actually Sadio Mane's recognised that. Clipped in by Felipe Anderson. Well, Liverpool were found wanting again. Again, the movement was clever, the delivery was good. Javier Hernandez on the move, as he always is.
It's too easy, but what's happened there, I think it's actually Ogbonna. He's blocked. He's actually blocked Fabinho, who was trying to track Hernandez's run. Obviously, from the referee's perspective, he didn't see it. Once again, it's a good free kick from West Ham.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether those kind of blocks are picked up when VAR comes into place. Every goal will get scrutinised.
I think it's difficult for the referee to give a foul in them situations, because what you're doing, if you're Hernandez, and we used to do it when I was playing, if you're Hernandez, all you do, you run and you drag the man into one of your men who's not looking at you.
Here's Keita. Robertson has avoided everyone in the middle. And again, Andy Robertson. Actually, Mane thinks it didn't avoid everyone and it should be a corner, but it's not been given. But Robertson again, it was such a danger.
You can see quite clearly the near post. I think it's on Ogbonna that gets a touch, and he tracks a runner to the near post. Just see he gets that last touch on it, and you can see why the Liverpool players a little bit frustrated. It should have been a corner.
It should have been a free kick for offside a few minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Some you win, some you don't. Exactly. I think they'd rather have won the one that they've won than the one they've just lost here. Just wonder, there have been one or two little glimpses of Antonio not quite at full tilt. He's had a lot of hamstring problems in his career, and he certainly wasn't chasing back with any gusto on that last raid from Robertson.
Well, I think after he scored the goal, it was the way they celebrated. He seemed to hurt his back because all the players jumped on top of him, and he walked away a little bit worse for wear, but hopefully he'll be okay to carry on, because he's such an important player, in particular in the way that West Ham are playing this evening.
Matic, Keita hasn't scored a goal yet for Liverpool, but certainly pushed on when the opportunities presented itself. Here he is, no opportunity to take it forward then. Fabinho. No flag again. Milner reaches it. The flag is for ball going out of play, I think. Well, it wasn't a great January for Liverpool. They dropped 5 points in the Premier League and were put out of the FA Cup at Wolves. And possibly that defeat didn't concern Jurgen Klopp too much. left and back right again. Anderson engaging, and he's allowed Snodgrass to come away with it. Good pressure from the Hammers. Not the best ball for Fabianski. Had to rush his kick. We'll have an opportunity to maybe sort one or two things out at half-time, but what Liverpool do have, of course, is great attacking force. And they will fancy their chances to score again. Just a throw. Frederick's companion was pushed. Mane, who ends up on the deck. A bit of frustration. It's silly really for West Ham with half-time approaching.
Yeah, Frederick has just let the frustration get the better of him. He feels as though he was fouled when he cleared the ball earlier. And because of frustration then has set in, he's gone too close to Mane. And he's just felt him and then he's gone down. And like you say, this stage just before half-time, but there is a frustration. This one, he believes that he's fouled here. And just sees a little push. Then he gets up. And you see the frustration still holding into him. Mane gets the ball. And it's role reversal.
And that definitely is a foul. In 5 Milner, and those kind of touches, and Mane got there first. They often fly in, for that flew straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he gets it well, man. He just gets in front of Antonio. It's a lovely touch in it, but good positioning from Fabianski.
Well, the first half has flown by. And we're going to have one added minute to the 1 minute that's left on the clock. And the score is 1-1. Liverpool with plenty of passes. But possession in football isn't everything. Well, had a decent effort. And it's the Rice header and 2 other set pieces that have caused consternation for Liverpool at the back. And then Fernandez, back in the team tonight, has been bright as a button. He's always a player who seems to be left out when the team's struggling a little bit, as if he's a bit of a luxury, just a goal scorer. I mean, what a contradiction in terms that is. Goal scorers are worth their weight in gold.
What he's so good at, even when he's playing against the physical centre-backs, he's so good at getting in front of them. You know, size-wise, okay, he's not that physical side of things, but when he gets in front of Van Dijk or when he gets in front of Matip, it's very difficult then to shrug off the ball without giving a foul away, and he brings other players into play really well as well.
Matip, and out by Cresswell, but not decisively. Lallana's there. So is Salah. He's offside. No Salah. Certain irony that the flag went up this time in terms of the cheers.
Just see as the ball's played through and try and push out. He's actually he's onside this time, Salah, and he is probably a good yard or so onside. And maybe a frustration for Liverpool, without question, compared to the frustration for West Ham when the opening goal occurred and Milner was offside.
Well, one stat for West Ham is that 17 of their previous 20 goals have been scored in the second half. And Jurgen Klopp will fear that. He goes down, he's got plenty to say to his team. They've had their moments. Got lucky with the goal, but were caught out by Mikel Antonio's reply.
Meetings with West Ham United, not quite the case on this Monday. 1-1 is the half-time score at the London Stadium. As we welcome you into our NBCSN Premier League studio, Derek Ray here with Kyle Martino and Robbie Mustoe. Let's revisit the story of the first half, the Geico first half highlights, and West Ham began positively, Robbie.
Yeah, really good start. Javier Hernandez here takes a good touch back inside the defence.
And when there's a touch stop, this is a hard thing to defend because you're expecting the rhythm of the ball being a slight little pick. Similar one right after.
Top of the table, Liverpool plus our farewell.
Half time with the physio there. Kyle.
Well, just more intensity from Liverpool. They were out early, standing there waiting for West Ham. We'll see if they start bright.
Let's go back to our commentators, Danny Higginbotham alongside Martin Tyler.
Liverpool to get the second half underway. They have extended one sequence that they can be justifiably proud of. They have scored in every away Premier League game this season. But this was a fortunate one from Sadio Mane, and the offside flag really should have gone up a moment or two earlier. A clever equaliser by Antonio from a well-worked and well-thought-out free kick. Van Dijk. Here's Milner. West Ham, remember, started the season under Manuel Pellegrini by losing their first 4 games, the first of which was at Anfield. There's been more substance as the season has worn on. Just a little dip recently, but 3 defeats all in away games. Here's Firmino, gives it straight to Cresswell. Allison is a real crowd pleaser. But it's not just pleasing the crowd, he pleases his manager and his teammates as well, because it's skill for purpose.
It's fantastic play from Anderson. He gets the better of Firmino here, and Firmino's eager to track back, and then he gets the better of Milner and just obstructs him. That's what he's so good at, Anderson. He will relieve pressure from the team. And once again, they find themselves with a set piece, and you can see with Liverpool very much zonal, which caused them a lot of problems so far in this game.
And they go to allow Felipe Anderson to have a crack. They went to 2-on-1 with a variation. Now Allison is caught having to clear the ball, and it was not very sophisticated. It wasn't easy as it was bouncing. He was left in that position. But maybe some of those jitters I was talking about have got to the goalkeeper, who's been a bit more exposed than in many a match in this his first season with Liverpool. And West Ham have a corner. Still limping a bit, Antonio, and it was, I'm sure, as a result of the celebration. And his teammates piling on top of him.
I think, once again, you look at Liverpool, they are set up in the zonal, and what the West Ham players doing, they're just starting a little bit further back, so what they've got to run up straight away, and if it's a standing start from Liverpool, then the West Ham players will win the ball in the air more often than not.
Robert Snodgrass to take the corner. And for Diop, he was up, and it was a chance once he got there. He just glanced off his head and glanced wide.
It is a big chance. You just see Diop, he ends up actually, Diop, I think it's with, it's actually with Mane, and that's the thing, and that's what happens when you become zonal. You go into an area, you're not marking specific plays, so you can find that Diop could be next to Mane, you could have Ogbonna next to Keita, because that's the zonal side of things, whereas if you go man for man, you are usually marking like for like.
Liverpool's throw from Milner to Salah. Milner again. Lallana shouting for handball, but it was very close. Ogbonna. And will be very interesting for the officials, talking to them before the game about VAR coming in next season and handball being issued in slow motion. It always looks like it should be a penalty. In real time, less so.
I think when you look in them situations from Ogbonna there's no way he can get his arm out of the way there, and you are always going to appeal for them. There's no doubt about it as a Liverpool player, but it would have been extremely harsh to give a penalty then.
Van Dijk with a towering header. And hoisted back by Diop. Liverpool were put in a position of real promise when Manchester City were beaten at Newcastle last Tuesday, and Liverpool went into action on Wednesday at home, knowing that a win would carry extra clout, but they only got the 1 point. It still was a 1 point gain on Manchester City, but since then City have beaten Arsenal pretty conclusively yesterday. Salah into Firmino. Rice trying to get away. Retrieved by Fabinho. Robertson. This is better from Liverpool. Salah coming onto it, and just the kind of angle that he would like and fancy his chances of scoring from.
It's good communication with Firmino. And Salah, just say he leaves it for Salah, and he's just trying to get more of a bend on it to get into that far corner. But it's what Liverpool are capable of. When they get going, that front three stroke front four, they play so narrow together, and the interchanging is excellent. That's why West Ham, they've got to be at their best consistently, because even though at times they have been the better team in this game, it doesn't matter with Liverpool's perspective, because all they need sometimes is one chance and the ball ends up in the back of the net, because they've got such good players going forward.
46th Premier League meeting between the two clubs. West Ham have only won 9 of the 45. 20%. It's a strong burst from Mane. Kevin Friend letting it go, and then deciding there was no great advantage and pulling it back. There's a little minor illustration of the point you were making, Danny, about the danger that Liverpool can... It's like flicking a switch, isn't it? With players like Mane and Salah and Firmino. Here's Antonio. He's done well. He's left 3 in his wake here. And he found a decent ball too out to Felipe Anderson. Liverpool struggling to get across. Snodgrass. Now Cresswell on to Felipe Anderson, who stayed onside. And loses out to Milner, who gets a goal kick. He's so versatile, James Milner. I think he's playing out of position at right back, but there was a season, of course, where he played at left back before Robertson was signed.
He's just an exceptional professional. I think he's that good a player and that experience now that he could near enough play in any position, and he doesn't look out of place, and he must be a manager's dreams in terms of his versatility.
Matip to Lallana. Salah stopped. Liverpool wanted a free kick. Kevin Friend didn't give them one. Felipe Anderson inside Fabinho. Finally Hernandez. Antonio. West Ham get it back. Felipe Anderson. You had to think about that. I must say, we're a long way away here, whether it was a foul or an attempt to deceive the official. It's gone the former. And it's led to a yellow card for Matip, who believes that he didn't deserve one.
It's great play.
He's put an arm out, hasn't he? Yeah.
It's great play from Felipe Anderson. I think the argument for the Liverpool players is that he's not going to get on the other end of it because the likes of Van Dijk, but see Matip, he puts his hand out there. The minute he puts the hand out, and Kevin Friend, the referee's in a great position, it's only going to be one outcome, and it's going to be a free kick and a yellow card.
He's only played once for Brazil, and that was getting on for 4 years ago, Felipe Anderson. This kind of form will not go unnoticed in his home country.
He's excellent, really. He's so unpredictable as well, so difficult to play against.
And being a Brazilian, he'll want to take the free kick. There are 1 or 2 other candidates as well. Like Cresswell, who pumps it into the wall and then pumps it over the bar. Finally poised. Milner. Liverpool have only lost once this season in the Premier League, and that was at the home of their closest rivals, Manchester City. Milner. Lallana darting into the middle, others arriving as well. Mane is closest to it. Robertson can put it back with interest. And Fabianski again. Safe hands. Clap hands, they used to call him at Arsenal. But, and he would admit that he's had periods in his career where he's not done himself justice or his team justice. But he's matured, as many goalkeepers do, of course.
I think if you speak to a lot of West Ham fans, they will say that he's the best signing this summer, arguably the player of the year so far as well, for 7 million.
And Salah with a suspicion of offside. And then, the flag has gone up. One assumes for offside. He's given the foul from that distance. Matthew Wilkes, the assistant down beneath us.
See, Sally's always looking to play on the shoulder.
Well,
it's very close.
It's very close.
It's very close. If anything, it looks like Fredericks in the right back position could have been playing him onside.
The free kick's not being taken from where the foul took place, mind you. That doesn't always tell you the whole story. Fredericks with the throw. Here's Felipe Anderson for Cresswell. Not quite. He's going to be what Andy Robertson is to Liverpool, Aaron Cresswell.
It's wonderful play initially from Rice, and it's a great run from Cresswell, but Snodgrass, you just see he finds himself in a bit of space. He wants the ball laid back to him. And you see the ball's just overplayed there. And Anderson to Cresswell. What they are doing, West Ham, when they're getting forward, they're getting numbers forward as well, and they've got that insurance with Rice just sitting in front of the two centre-backs, and it gives them then the authority, and it enables them to commit more men forward to go and support Hernandez.
Salah. Good run ahead of the ball by Lallana. Milner trying to take it on, but he's lost out to the clever-footed Anderson again. He just loves the ball being at his feet. Snodgrass with an excellent left foot, trying to bend it into where Hernandez was bursting just beyond the penalty spot, trying to get there. Salah spotted by Diop. Anderson using a pass this time, and Noble lets it get away from him. Touch from Mane to Keita. Here comes Robertson. It's a battle of the attacking left backs at the moment. Oh, and Firmino not in harmony there with Mane, and it's Antonio who comes away for the Hammers. And it's a booming pass out to Anderson, who wants it back. Antonio in the air, but Anderson tries to tease it in towards Hernandez. Here's Cresswell. Corrected by Salah. Tries to start the Liverpool counter-attack. It's a lovely tempo to the game.
Yeah, it's just starting to open up a little bit now. Both teams going at each other. That could actually favour Liverpool, because we know Liverpool are so dangerous in my mind. One of the best counter-attacking teams in Europe, and the more space there is, the more they'll be able to exploit it.
Lallana still going strong. He hasn't had too many starts. Here's Firmino. Oh, it's behind Salah. There was a ball to the other side, wasn't there, Danny? To Robertson, of course.
He was on in acres of space, because Antonio had switched off. He hadn't tracked Robertson. Every time Liverpool are going forward, Robertson's doing that and doing it really well.
Good hold-up play by Hernandez, but the pass was covered. It wasn't so much a bad pass, but good covering by Milner, who smelt the danger. Slightly naughty one from Javier Hernandez, naughty enough to get a yellow card on Fabinho.
Always look at the reaction of the player, and there's no complaints at all from Hernandez.
Robertson. Brings out to Fabinho. Nothing wide right for him. He wants to go in the opposite direction. Salah wants it to feet. Milner. Fabinho. And bursting to get into the box in Liverpool's colours. Salah comes short. Lallana. A little run on for Milner here, who will keep it in. He's going to set up another one. Salah. Oh, it's a lovely change of direction. It's a fantastic effort. It's typical of what he's done since he's come to Liverpool. in the end there wasn't quite enough power on it to get the better of Fabianski, but the footwork was exceptional.
It's absolutely brilliant from Salah. With one turn he takes Snodgrass and Rice out of the game. And Fabianski, once again, as he has done the majority of the evening, just gets his angles absolutely spot on. But that's what you're talking about, even when players may be having quiet games, especially in the ability the likes of Salah have, and see what they're capable of.
West Ham with more attempts, but Liverpool, you would say, with the greater potential to get what might be a decisive third goal of the evening. Fabinho. Salah has pushed further forward this time. Thomas Milner down the right-hand side. Lallana. Salah got behind Rice. And he's starting to be a little menace. He knows that. There's a little area there that Mo Salah's starting to threaten from, sort of inside right channel, coming in on his left foot. Not once but twice now.
Yeah, he's picking up some very good positions. What he's done in it, and Declan Rice has done really well this evening, but what Salah's just starting to do now, he's starting to get in behind him and in front of the two centre-backs to a position where the two centre-backs don't want to come out to him, so he's able to get the ball and turn, and that's the intelligence of Salah, and he's looking to work that out and coming in very narrow from the right-hand side.
And Antonio doing enough in the jump to make Van Dijk headed out. Rice. Tidy play from a very promising young footballer, and not so tidy from a more senior man, Cresswell. You know, a lot of controversy, and a lot of us traditionalists didn't want to see Upton Park be seen as a former home of West Ham. I loved going there, loved commentating there. Players always say they love playing there, certainly the home players. But this is what West Ham envisaged by coming to this wonderful stadium. Nights like this, top opposition, plenty of goalmouth activity, and it is which left back is going to be the decisive factor here. The ground covered by Robertson and Cresswell is it's a great testimony to their fitness.
I think what you're seeing from Robertson now, he is playing more and more advanced than Antonio. There's been a couple of times where he's not tracked him back, and he's a really good outlet, full of energy, and he's another player for Liverpool that's having an incredible season.
As it goes on, you'd think probably West Ham would be happier with a draw, but for Liverpool, if it was the finish level, it would be back-to-back draws. Not the best. Activity on the Liverpool bench. Come back to that in a moment, because there's activity in the Liverpool attack. Mane is fast, but might encourage Jurgen Klopp to bring Xherdan Shaqiri on as soon as possible. The Switzerland international is being readied, and he's done well his move from your old club Stoke.
Yeah,
he looked the part with Liverpool, hasn't he?
Yeah, fantastic move for him. I think obviously Liverpool got him for an unbelievable price as well, in my opinion. I think that was part of the deal when Stoke City got relegated. But I think the difference is with Liverpool now as well, they've got a much stronger bench. They've got players that can make an impact coming off the bench, and Shaqiri, most certainly one who's been pushing for a place in the starting 11 consistently.
Well, it'll be a straight swap for Adam Lallana, which might have happened at any stage, whatever the scoreline at this stage of the game, rather, given Lallana's lack of Premier League starts this season, and indeed throughout the calendar year of 2018. We'll be hoping for better fortune in this year. Van Dijk. He's still working hard, Lallana. Salah. Firmino. Some carelessness from the Liverpool front players from time to time. And maybe it's the tension of the situation that the club finds himself in. Lallana still running, and Fabianski still catching. Into the last quarter here. Goals exchanged in the first half. Mane for Liverpool, Antonio for West Ham. Headed by Diop. It's time for Xherdan Shaqiri.
Substitution for Liverpool
for Adam Lallana. Shaqiri made his Liverpool debut as a substitute in the 4-0 win in August against West Ham at Anfield.
He's replaced by number 23,
There's miles on the clock for Lallana, which is important. Liverpool with a somewhat depleted squad at the moment. We'll need him to be fully available. Henderson's injury is not too serious. He actually, typical of Jordan Henderson, wanted to be involved tonight, but Jurgen Klopp said no. Lovren has the more serious hamstring problem, and for Wijnaldum it's a knee injury. Keita, very much central to the team now. Firmino might have taken it on, but not always made the right decision. Bobby Firmino, so often the Bobby Dazzler. Here's Firmino. Salah. West Ham still working very hard when Liverpool have the ball, and they'll need to keep doing that. Milner. Into Salah. Back for Milner again. It's just a little bit too tight. They don't want to cross it in, do they?
No, well, what they've done, and Shaqiri, when he came on, he just went straight up to Keita, and they're saying to Keita to sit with Fabinho. So what you've got is your two centre-backs, your two defensive midfielders sitting at all times. The width coming from both Robertson and Milner, and then your front four being really narrow, being able to interchange. And what they're hoping is that either the full-backs will get free, or, in an ideal world for them, the full-backs get dragged out of West Ham, and that leaves them to get an overload through the middle.
Has to come across. Noble. And behind him on Bonner. Felipe Anderson, but the flag was up earlier against Fernandez. We'll probably be wondering perhaps about his potential substitutes. Andy Carroll, of course, brings a certain dimension, and it's the rather uncertain Liverpool defensive line tonight. Former Liverpool player, of course.
I think one of the concerns could be, we spoke about Antonio, about his back seems to be struggling a little bit. Robertson's having the freedom of this left-hand side. He's not able to track him back, and that would be a slight concern for West Ham, especially if they're looking at substitutions, what they could do to try and deal with that.
I just feel it hasn't been the best night for Liverpool, but if they get one goal here, it will be a wonderful result. Performance does matter, of course, particularly with still plenty of the season left, but it is the outcome. And this is an interesting change. Divock Origi, who of course was responsible for that stunning moments in the Merseyside derby. It certainly stunned Everton, and he scored in stoppage time to win the game. And there's Andy Carroll, who's probably had a few thoughts leading up to this about his time as a Liverpool player. Keita, Firmino, down goes Shaqiri, challenged by Rice, not fouled by Rice. Liverpool fans weren't happy with that. And here's Felipe Anderson for Snodgrass. Nice change of direction, change of pace back for Felipe Anderson. Shouts for handball. I'm not sure that was going to be given, and Mark Noble might live to regret that.
It was a great chance. It's lovely link-up play between Anderson and then Snodgrass. And you just think Anderson's going to hit it, but it's not. Noble hits, and he just can't get his body over the ball. But it's a great opportunity for West Ham, and they are looking dangerous more often than not now on the counter-attack themselves, sitting deep, allowing Liverpool forward and looking to exploit the spaces that have been left behind.
Robertson this time passing, trying to get it in behind West Ham, but that's why Fredericks is in the team tonight, with Zabaleta stood down. Mane, Keita, Salah, counter-attack might be on as it came back West Ham's way, but then they lost it, and there's a run by Keita, and it's Salah. Well, the change will be made, and who's Divock Origi going to replace here? There might have been a change of plan from Jurgen Klopp. Roberto Firmino. I must say, I think he's a terrific player, Roberto Firmino, but he hasn't been at his terrific best tonight.
No, he hasn't. I think playing obviously a little bit of a different role, near enough in that number 10 position. I think what you get now with Origi is, we've spoken about Liverpool's fullbacks both going forward at the same time, getting crosses into the box. So Origi gives you more of that physical threat if West Ham are going to afford Liverpool the wide areas.
Keep giving him West Ham's way. Rice. There is Origi, who's had a rough time with injuries himself. And he is a goal-getter. Tidied up by Cresswell. Salah blocked off. Liverpool have to come again. Mane's come more into this. It's almost as if they're leaving that left side for Robertson to use the space, trying to work positions through. There's Shaqiri coming through the centre as well. Felipe Anderson. Snodgrass's touch just took him back into Shaqiri territory, and Liverpool have possession again. Milner, Keita, now Fabinho, Mane, going for it, and it's the kind of individual surge that West Ham have got to be wary of. He's a slippery customer, Sadio Mane. Pedro Obiang is stripped and ready for Manuel Pellegrini. Milner. West Ham in danger perhaps of being caught betwixt and between here. If they sit back too much, they might just invite the sort of pressure that Liverpool can turn really to their advantage. Fabinho. Great work from Noble. A lot of space for Felipe Anderson. On the return, the Brazilian again, when Snodgrass had the option of taking it on himself and maybe striking for goal. He's capable of doing that.
I don't think he realised how much space he had. He could have opened himself up. He probably would have had time to get it onto his favoured left foot as well.
Van Dijk. Now Fabinho. Shaqiri now. Angle it for Milner. Inside the defender. Well, it's going to be a double change for West Ham. Obiang first for Mark Noble. Fresh legs in midfield. Noble departs with a fresh memory of that wonderful pass. Bit of skill before it too. He's a great competitor, Mark Noble. He'll understand why he's coming off, but he won't necessarily like it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He is, as you said previously, Mr. West Ham, but not just that, it's the calming influence he brings, and what he will do as well is enable Rice to grow as well, because he's such an experienced player, and Rice will be learning from him all the time.
Mark Noble has certainly made his mark with his local club. Having a wonderful career. Obiang has just become a full international. He's born in Spain, but he's got origins in Equatorial Guinea, and he's just played his first game for them at the back end of last year. And off comes the Mexican, Javier Hernandez, for a different type of striker, one well known to Liverpool.
I don't think there's any doubt that he will be the target now, and it's important if West Ham are going a little bit longer that the likes of Anderson and the likes of Antonio, they look to get around him for the second balls, because he does win so much in the air.
He also takes defenders underneath the ball as well, and he does that unfairly in the mind of Kevin Friend. A lot of talk in the transfer window about all sorts of moves here with West Ham, including Marko Arnautovic, missing tonight with injury, still a West Ham player after wanting to go to China for a lucrative move, but then the offer was withdrawn and he came back and signed a pretty decent contract here. Now, he's done all right out of it, but he is injured, bruised foot. And Carroll, the big story was Andy Carroll put his house on the market, and that often suggests that you're going to move to another part of the country, but maybe he's just going to move in the area. Up to Carroll, who can jump as high as a house. Well, we're coming up to the last 10 minutes. We're still as we were at half-time, and a foul throw. You don't often see at this level, or if you do, you don't often see referees reacting to it. Shaqiri. Well, Keita. A bit lucky, Origi's there to help him out. Keita's still involved, but it's Origi who takes it on and on. Gets a free kick. But one thing Carroll will help, of course, is going back to defend aerially, and Obiang is much taller than Noble, so there's a few extra inches defensively with that double change. Doesn't necessarily mean to say that the marking will be spot on. Substitutes sometimes a bit slow to pick up their responsibilities. Salah tried to drive it through. And that's Van Dijk, who was trying to fire it across the face of the goal. His power got him into a decent position.
Yeah, he just used his strength to get past Creswell. As soon as the ball comes to him here, just gets Creswell out of the way. But positioning once again from Fabianski was spot on, and it had to be. It looked like it was Mane just waiting to put the ball into an empty net.
Creswell, the ball carrier, he's out of position now. There's a defensive sense of responsibility. Out by O'Connor. Antonio. Over on this side, we've swapped with Felipe Anderson. That may be because Antonio's struggling to match those Robertson runs because of his the problem he's had since he scored the goal.
Yeah, they've done that on numerous occasions so far in this game, just swapping wings. They're starting to look a little bit tired now, West Ham, and I think it's understandable with the amount of injuries that they've got. So many of the players, they've not really been able to have any rest at all. It's been a small squad. I think at one point, not so long ago, there was 9 players injured, 9 first-team players.
Missed the Wolves game, the last game before tonight. They were beaten 3-0, didn't have a shot on target. It was a pretty woeful performance, but I guess with mitigating circumstances. Not been woeful tonight. Robertson, Liverpool pressing for a goal which would mean so much to them. Salah, Shaqiri, again when on his left foot he might have had a shot, but Antonio taking a ricocheted, unfortunately, off Snodgrass. Hard on the heels of the draw with Leicester. This is not in the Jurgen Klopp script. I just wonder whether he's having a go at Shaqiri for not shooting then and playing an extra pass, almost I don't want to take the responsibility pass. It's unlike Shaqiri, who's got a wonderful left foot and has scored many spectacular goals, including a few already in his short time as a Liverpool player. Here's Fabinho. Origi. And there goes Anderson. And that speed, you said, with the ball. And now he's got to make a recovery run without it. Van Dijk. Mane. Gets it back again. Liverpool want to get the lead back again. And there's a little cameo of the night, really. Hard fought. Nothing here that you take away from it will not have been hard earned, even if it is 1 point for Jurgen Klopp.
I think the thing is the way that West Ham are playing, and they are doing very well, and like you say, I'd be delighted to get the draw. Liverpool not so much, and if it does remain a draw, then see Manchester City, they play Everton midweek. Liverpool could possibly, if the score remains the same today and Manchester City were to win their game, go into the next game second in the table. So obviously that brings different pressures itself, but it's going to be an intriguing second half to the season, there's no question of that.
Here's Salah. It's the Liverpool teams that won all those titles back in the 70s and 80s were famed for their late goals. They'd love to get one here, class of 2019. What they won't want to do is concede one. They've conceded a free kick. Given against Kate. Biang trying to make something from the knockdown. Milner. Shaqiri. Fabinho. Robertson again. Mane. Robertson, first time cross, it's a good one, and Cresswell, the lad from Liverpool, stops his boyhood favourites from sneaking in for a winner there, but there is a corner to come.
It's great positioning from Cresswell. We spoke about the wide areas, but as a full-back on the opposite side, can you get inside your far post? And he does that very well, because Salah was just looking to pounce and put the finishing touches into the cross into the box.
Chance for Liverpool to get what would be a priceless goal. All sorts of pushing going on in there, and in the end Salah couldn't shift it into a shooting position quickly enough. Frustration for him again. He scored in every game he's played in his career against West Ham for Liverpool, but not tonight. I'm tempted to say not yet, because you never know with Mo Salah. Van Dijk, the faithful Robertson, Origi through the middle, and the ball is sliced away from the pass behind Milner. And you can't avoid seeing the scoreline, these massive screens at each end of this wonderfully appointed stadium. Not really a football ground. It turned into the home of West Ham United. And I think obviously with each passing game, let alone each passing month, let alone each passing season, they're feeling more at home here. If they can get something from this on the back of the win against Arsenal, another suggestion that they are comfortable in their habitat now. But here's Naby Keita. Liverpool have so much incentive to snatch it at the last here. Milner. We're in the 89th minute at the London Stadium at 1-1. Mane taking over from Keita. Milner. On to Fabinho. Movement from Milner down the outside. He's cut it back, it's gone beyond Declan Rice. Keita. Snodgrass ended up on the deck. And Jurgen Klopp still trying to encourage his team, and maybe a little bit disappointed that free kick was given. And here is Arthur Masuaku. We're happy with the 1 point change, because it's going to be Felipe Anderson, I think he's going to replace. Well, he said he wanted to help his own team, Manuel Pellegrini, but also help Manchester City. He's I think we're hearing about 3 minutes added time away from doing just that. Felipe Anderson. What a favourite he's become here in such a short space of time.
He's replaced by number 26.
Worth the admission price.
He's absolutely fantastic talent. There was one clip when he was playing against Arsenal, and he's running at the Arsenal defence and he's putting his gloves on. And it was something I think that Noble spoke about. He couldn't believe it, but he's such an unbelievable talent, with and without the ball. And like I say, a lot of people, when you watch him, they say he's actually quicker with the ball at his feet than he is without it.
Well, there's not been much sign in the last few minutes of West Ham getting the decider. But they've worked so hard to try and stop Liverpool doing that. There are so many wonderful facets about the Premier League, one of which is its capacity to find a sting in the tail. That's why it's such a watch league around the world, the most watchable league. You could argue about quality, other excellent leagues in other countries, but stay with Premier League games right to the last whistle, because you never know what kind of conclusions can suddenly unfold before your very eyes. Are we going to get one here? Van Dijk, Fabinho, Milner, Shaqiri. You just sense needs must for Liverpool. Fabinho, West Ham have worked so hard. Virgil van Dijk. No panic from Liverpool, they're not just tossing the ball into the box, they're trying to work an opening. And they may be able to do that with Milner. Origi coming in. It's only been half cleared. Origi goes again. Snodgrass, and then hoisted forward by Declan Rice. And look where Alisson is. Oh, and he's headed it straight to Andy Carroll, who couldn't take advantage of that. 45 seconds left. Shaqiri. And again. Keita. Mane. And Rice is in there, and West Ham only need to keep it now. But they can't do that. Antonio had Carroll in support, but he couldn't give him the ball. Keita, surely the last Liverpool attack here. Can it produce a winning goal? Milner stays in play. Well, it doesn't now. Liverpool's throw. Shaqiri. Keita trying to get round Rice. Rice trying not to foul him. Keita. Origi! Oh, there was no flag. It was a chance to win the game. He couldn't do to West Ham what he did to Everton.
What a chance, what a chance. He just wouldn't come down quick enough for him. You just see as he's played through here, Keita does really well. And once again, he is offside. He goes through, and he just won't come down quick enough for him. He was safe from Fabianski.
And that was that. Manuel Pellegrini and Jurgen Klopp with an exchange of views, and the result that is it 2 points dropped or 1 point gained? Only time will tell. It feels like the former, I'm sure, to Liverpool at the moment. Back-to-back 1-1 draws, home to Leicester, away to West Ham, who fought so hard for a praiseworthy point here. Mane got the Liverpool goal. It shouldn't have stood. It was offside against Milner, who crossed it. Antonio equalised all that in the first half. A lot of late Liverpool pressure, a lot of respect from Jurgen Klopp to the opposition and his own team as well. But he'll be disappointed. Manchester City will be delighted with the work of a team managed by their former manager, Manuel Pellegrini. It's a result to suit West Ham, it's a result to suit Manchester City. It's West Ham United 1, Liverpool 1.
Edge of the seat. Tyler said a result that suits Manchester City because they now have the chance to go top of the table. They'll do so if they beat Everton at Goodison on Wednesday, albeit they would have played one game more.